Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Chet here from Avion Technology here in the Chicagoland area. Avion Technology is an agency that works with other agencies, small businesses. We work with agencies to help turn them up, scale them up, turn them around, make them more profitable. We also work with other smaller businesses to give them a really good digital presence, whether it's a website, an app, or digital marketing. I do these little shorts to kind of, give out little vignettes of my knowledge. I've been running this agency for the last 17 years. I think I've accumulated a lot of wisdom in the process, and so this is just a way to kind of give back. So today's topic is best practices for financial management in small business. So as we all know, running a small business is a challenge. It's funny. Someone asked me the other day that what is running a small business like. I told them ever since I've started a small business, I sleep like a baby. Right? I wake up every 3 hours and start crying. So that will give you an idea about what running a small business is like. It's a different experience, right? It's like being on a treadmill all the time. Some people have called it trench warfare, some people have called it battlefield. But at the end of the day, I think small businesses are what make the nation tick. They are the biggest employers in the country, and I think small business owners are basically heroes because they generate so much employment, and they generate so much for the country. So I think definitely small businesses are definitely one of the most unsung heroes, heroes and heroines of any country. So today's topic is best practices for financial management in small business. Again, this is based on my own experience, so I'm going to lay them out here. Number one, keep your personal and business finances separate. A lot of countries, you have to file taxes for both of these separately. But even otherwise, it's a good idea to keep your personal and business finances separate, especially if you're in a partnership business, because that could actually be the source of a lot of issues between you and your partner, right? So always, this is one of the major reasons why a lot of partnerships actually fail, is because personal and business finances are not kept separate. So definitely keep personal and business finances separate, number one. Number two, manage debt wisely. Right? If you ask me, try to have no debt, but if you do have debt, try to manage it wisely. A lot of small businesses have actually gone down the tubes because they took on too much leverage, they took on too much debt. So manage your debt wisely. If you want, actually meet a financial planner, meet a financial controller, and that person will give you some idea, some inclination of how much debt is good for your business, right? What's the optimum debt? So don't exceed that. The number one reason why most small businesses fail is not because they lose their biggest client, but it's because they accumulate too much debt, and then servicing that debt actually becomes a big issue. Number three is implement financial forecasting. This is kind of in line with what I said with number two. Meet your financial planner, meet your financial forecaster. They will give you some insights into what your next year is going to look like. So just as you do your financial planning for yourself, do financial planning for your business, sit with someone, try to forecast the next 1 year. Every business has its ups and downs, its seasonal highs, lows. So you can discuss that with your financial planner, but try to implement some level of financial forecasting so that you're not always in a here and now mode. I always say this, in a spiritual perspective, being here and now, being present is excellent. If you're running a business or even if you have a family, sometimes being in the here and now is not so good, right? Because you need to plan out for the future. You need to plan out for 6 months, 12 months, a couple of years down the line. So definitely implement some kind of financial forecasting systems within your small business. Next is plan for taxes early. Again, I cannot understate this, right? Death and taxes, those are the two inevitable things in life, death and taxes. So plan for your death by having a living trust and will, and plan for taxes by sitting again with your financial planner, trying to estimate what your taxes will be. The best thing is to deduct taxes at source, so you don't have to worry about it. If not, sit early, try to figure out what your tax liability is and try to pay it off as soon as possible. Of course, try to see all the tax benefits, the tax shelters, and all these different tax saving devices that are out there. But like I said, when you're doing this last minute, business taxes are due March 15, personal taxes are due, returns at least are due April 15. Now if you sit January 2nd week, January 3rd week, it's already a little too late. Ideally, you should be sitting in the last quarter of the year with your financial planner to figure out what your tax liability will be, and what are the tax saving strategies that you can do. And lastly, build an emergency fund, both in your personal life and your profession and for your business. I usually say 6 months of operating expenses. If it's higher, that's great, but at least try for 3 months, right? Because life happens, right? Who knew the pandemic was going to come? Who knows what's going to come next? In that kind of a situation, if you do not have kind of cash stashed away for the rainy day, then I have seen a friend of mine owned a business, and it was a pretty decent business. He had about 100 plus employees, and he just had 15 days of cash, but he was operating on that thin a margin. And luckily he sold his business, and he never had to see like a worst case scenario day where he would not have enough money to make payroll. But this is a reality for a lot of businesses, is that they just do not have enough cash in the bank. If they lose a big client, if there's there's a recession like 2008, Lehman Brothers going down, there's some big catastrophe, some bank going down, something happening, you should at least be able to make a couple of payrolls, without your cash flow getting affected. Again, before I finish, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a certified financial planner, I own a web agency, right? So please do not take anything that I've said as financial or legal or any kind of professional advice. There's specialists who do that. This is just, a way for me to reach out and kind of talk to you about my own experiences and try to guide you. If this resonated with you, press like. If you want to, be notified every time we upload a video, press on the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. This is Jet here from Avion Technology. These are my coordinates, and I hope you like our content. Thank you so much. Take care.